Hi, I'm Christopher
Hi,
Sapp.
everybody. This is Bob
Hey guys,
Bergen.
this is Stephanie Shea.
Hey, I'm Veronica Taylor.
Hey, everybody. This is Billy West.
Hey, guys. I'm Ryan Colt Levy.
Hi, this is Kyle
Hi,
Aber.
this is Kira Buckley.
Hi, I'm Jameson Price.
Hi, I'm Sean Chiplock.
You are listening to Two Dads.
You're listening to
Two Dads.
Two dads.
Two dads.
Two dads.
Two dads.
Two dads.
Two dads
And a podcast.
a couple of dads on a podcast.
Yes, I feel powerful.
What's up, guys?
Welcome.
It's
Can you
another
guess
episode.
What the name of our show is?
It's
Can you guess?
Shit. I know this one.
Couple of dads. So today we're doing an exciting top 5. We're busting back into superheroes.
We
We're going
are. It's been a while since
Batman.
we've done superheroes.
Yeah.
And I was actually
It
looking
has.
back through our lists, and we've never done anything specific to Batman. And I thought we
except for
did.
the first. It was the first episode we ever did. It was our concept episode that wasn't official, where we just went through each some of the main Batman characters and picked our favorite.
Our favorite
iteration of that
actors and like
character.
iteration. Yeah. This one was a lot of fun, and especially looking it up. And because we haven't said it yet, we're doing Batman gadgets.
Yay!
Yeah. Batman's had so many gadgets
It was either
over the
this
years.
or it was vehicles. We couldn't decide which, but we
One
decided gadgets
day we'll do
first.
Batmobiles for sure, because there's some pretty badass Batmobiles out there.
Right? And they're
100%.
just getting crazier and cooler.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So number 5.
Number 5. Oh, you're jumping right in. Go.
Don't
my
number 5 is the grappling gun. Okay, so it's not original to the original Batman. Yeah, he used to just have a rope.
It's not. Yeah, it's the bat rope.
We've got a grappling gun. The thing's used all the time now, though. Every video game, it's like that's how they got him to move around in video games now. If you played one of the Arkham games, you swing around like fucking
Fantastic
Spider-Man
games,
most of the
by
time,
the way. That's half the fun of the combat is swinging around, getting yourself out of combat.
Right.
So you can sneak up on people.
So when it's used so much, and even in the TV shows and in the cartoons, it's just one of the most used items he has. How can you not have that on your list? It's versatile.
It's so iconic.
It can be used as a traveling tool. It can be used as a weapon. It can be used to tie people up if you need to. It's what are you going to do without it? And if you paid attention towards the end of last year, they made a new replica gun for the Batman the Animated Series, and it is super cool and super detailed.
So my number 5 kind of had to be on my list just because. And contrary to popular belief, it was not originally in the 1966 movie with Adam West. The shark repellent.
Oh, yeah.
Originally showed up in Batman 117 in 1958. He was on Planetoid X, and he literally says, and I quote, "This works against the killers of the deep on Earth, but how will it affect this creature while they are underwater on Planetoid X fighting like sea monsters?" And
did it work?
It did. It did work. it scared the sea monster off. Who knew human shark repellent worked on alien sea monsters?
It's just iconic now. It's sort of this. It's in Easter eggs all over. And so it had to be my number 4, but I took it a little further because mine was not just the bat or the shark repellent. It was oceanic repellent.
You went with the whole group.
Yeah, because you got the barracuda, you got the whale, you got the manta ray, and it's just listening to Adam West tell Robin to grab me the shark repellent is just so hilarious.
See, I specified the shark repellent because that's what's been used the most throughout stuff is just the shark. Right. But the oceanic one is the whole collection of them is iconic to the 1966 movie.
Right.
But it's been in so many things since then. Of course you have that
Easter egg now, and like all the video games, they're obviously gonna drop this Easter egg and as many as they can fit it into. It showed up in the new Harley Quinn series and Batman the Brave and the Bold.
The New 52 comics, Batman actually
Yeah.
uses it against King Shark. It's been in the Lego Batman movie. It was even in Batman Arkham City, the video game. So it's such a meme, and it's so great, and I love it. I'm so happy it was on your list too. Well, that brings us to my number 4, because we just jumped through yours pretty quickly. And as a huge fan of the games, I had to have at least one of mine be more specific to the games. It's not just there, but it is much more specific to the game, and it's the explosive gel.
Oh, nice. I like this one, especially the use in the Arkham games was creative.
Oh, 100%.
For sure.
And what I love about it too is it's literally like the first weapon besides the Batarang that you get in the Arkham Asylum game, the very first game, and it was used and utilized in all of them. And honestly, it was one of my favorite things to use too, because during the combat, that free flow combat, being able to like do this crazy kicking cartwheel flip thing and spraying the ground and then blowing shit up. It was just,
Yeah.
And one of the cool things you could do with it too is you could really plan ahead. If you knew where a certain enemy was going to be well before it starts happening, you spray it on the wall, you wait for them to get close to it, and then you blow it up and you get an instant knockout. It was just super cool. It was really unique. And like I said, it's not just in the games. Some sort of this has shown up in Batman throughout over time, but the games is where this really shines.
Right. And I always wonder if they had the forward thinking to know how creative you could be with this gel in the game when they were designing the games. Because it really is.
Oh, I'm sure. Game developers go
puzzles.
so in depth nowadays. It's crazy.
It's fantastic, and it's such fun playing those games too. My number 3. We're on to 3 now.
We are. We're almost halfway through the list.
I had to choose the Kryptonite Ring.
Kryptonite Ring. So, man, you warned me about this one. You warned me. It's not a gadget. It's just a ring made of kryptonite.
It's gadgety. It's gadgety.
I'll allow it.
And it's also not originally Batman's, because it was created by Lex Luthor.
Yep.
But it fits in the belt, and he actually does keep it in the belt quite frequently.
In a lead-lined, one of the casing on there that's lead-lined, so Superman cannot see it.
And guess what it's for?
It's for beating up Superman if it needs to happen, or any Kryptonian that might happen to show up, because a few of them do.
And he's used it obviously a few times, and I think one of the more recent ones is Poison Ivy takes control over Superman, and Batman has to use it to subdue Superman. But we know what the ring's for. It was made for one reason, and it is going to be continued to be used for one reason. There's only one reason. Why does he keep it around if there's not just this little bit of distrust still?
This little bit. Yeah.
This little bit of that man's got too much power, and somebody's got to be a neutralizer. I've been watching The Boys and stuff like that, and I'm like, I could see it.
Yeah, I'll allow that one. That one's it's not technically a gadget though.
It's used as a gadget. It's gadgety. It's a gadget adjacent.
Gadget adjacent. Look, now if he put something around it, like he made a lead-lined ring that opened up to expose it, boom, gadget.
What if it just like sprayed tear gas out of it?
Gadget.
Just a little bit.
At that point, it's a gadget. Well, my number 3 is an actual gadget. It's not just gadget adjacent. And it's also extremely iconic. Though it hasn't been around since the original comics, it has been around for a very long time. Believe it or not, 1966, though not from the Batman Adam West movie.
What the fuck is it?
It's the rebreather.
Oh, nice. I love this particular gadget.
It's been around since the 60s, and it is so versatile, and it's in so many different Batman and Batman-related things. And honestly, I can't help but think that maybe, just maybe, Star Wars, the prequel trilogy,
the Phantom Menace, where they go into the water and they took
some inspiration from this, because it looks almost identical.
A lot of things I think have. and honestly, it's a testament to their creativity back in the day. And it seems like a no-brainer. Like if you could make something like this, you would. And like you said,
100%.
it's extremely versatile.
It first showed up in Batman 323 in 1966, but it's been in quite a few different comics. It was even in the Batman Hush, which we are both big fans of. Superman, Batman comics, Suicide Squad. There was a version of it, the first Suicide Squad movie. It shows up all over the place. I love it. Honestly, if I could just take this one little thing and be able to swim underwater for a very extended period of time, dude, how badass would that be? No huge equipment. You don't need an oxygen tank. You don't need all this crazy stuff going on.
It can connect to larger oxygen tanks, and it can. But
that way it can last significantly longer. Simple concept, and it saved Batman in so many different occasions, from poison gas to being able to breathe underwater. So I love this one, and it's so useful. That's why it ended up being my number 3.
All right. Well, my number 2, we've got to talk about the Batsuit. Now, the Batsuit as a whole is a bunch of different gadgets on it, right?
Okay.
Right?
I'm following you a little bit here.
My number 2 includes one of those said gadgets, and that would be the cape.
Oh, yes. Okay. This one, I 100% will agree with you, is a gadget, because Batman's cape is not just cloth. It is not just
used
this
to glide.
cape.
It is used to stop bullets. It can, in certain instances, certain iterations, harden up to be a glider. It is such a versatile tool that they've used. And by the way, I will say this, and this might rub some people the wrong way. He is the only superhero that I think his looks are improved by a cape. He just looks more badass with a fucking cape.
Superman doesn't need a cape. What the hell does he need a cape for? It does nothing but blow in the air behind him.
Right. And that design, when they changed it to the spiky...
the more honest to goodness Batwing looking.
Yeah. It was just so fucking cool, good. Man. And they've done so much creative shit with this cape over the years. You can't even scratch the surface, from the Dark Knight to the animated series to the you just see where he wraps it around his head to stop bullets. And
because he makes it out of different materials and stuff, and depending on the situation, it's made of different things. It is so versatile.
So that's my number 2. It's iconic. It is one of the more iconic symbols of the Batman.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, my number 2 is a bit simpler than that, and we've already touched on it a little bit, but only a specific version. My number 2 is the Grapple Hook. Not specifically the grapple gun, because like you said, that is a newer version.
Yep.
I'm talking the Grapple Hook. We can even rope in the Bat Rope to be part of this, because originally he used the rope with the Batarang to create, what was it?
A grapple
hook.
Mm-hmm.
It's so iconic. It first showed up in 1939. It is one of the original gadgets that he's had, and it's because it allows him so much maneuverability.
It does. It is hard to have a character with no superpowers to, eventually you got to get out of the car, right? And then you're on foot. And then what? Action slows down a lot in a foot race. So
Oh yeah.
You add something more interesting to it. You add some vertical fucking versatility to it, and now he's able to move in more than just one linear direction. He's able to stop baddies in a completely different way if he needs to. And I don't know what it is about the grappling hook, but it just reminds you of the detective comic sort of history of being more detective at first a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
You're grappling up to sneak into a window to find.
And without the grapple hook,
clues.
Without the bat rope, without this, you wouldn't have the grapple gun. You wouldn't have these super versatile and crazy versions of it in the different media, whether it's live action or the animated series or even the video games, you don't have these things without the original. And so I kind of grouped it all together, but the grapple hook itself, that's my number 2. It's so iconic, so useful, so versatile, and it's not just limited to the original.
That's it, bud. So
which brings
number
us
1.
Both to our number 1.
You excited? I'm excited.
I'm excited because I know it's the same thing.
It's got to be. It's got to be the Batarang.
The Batarang.
Now, which version is your favorite looking?
So, oh man, you're putting me on the spot, man. My favorite.
I know
look,
mine.
I just did like Batarang as a whole because there's so many.
Oh, there's a ton.
Oh.
So for me, I love the Dark Knight. It's just the iconic steel bat, man.
Steel bat, yeah. I really like that one.
You know, I love some of the curved ones that you see, like that take on the bat,
like the Batman animated series, or even Batman Beyond, where the blades were the red with the bat symbol in the middle.
Yeah, and it was almost a complete circle on that one.
I would
that
say
was super cool.
My favorite design out of all of them. The Dark Knight's good, but I think my favorite is from the Batman Arkham series, the video games. They have a soft spot in my heart. It's very similar
those ones
to
are very striking, yeah.
Where it's the bat that goes throughout, except these ones actually have blades on the end. You can see they're sharpened down. That one is really, really iconic.
Now, this Batarang obviously has been around, Detective Comics, issue 31.
Yeah, 1939.
And they've done so much with it. One of my favorites is, I remember playing like the Batman Vengeance video game on the original Xbox.
Man,
and
you're
they
really
had the
going
electric Batarang. And it was the first time I'd seen, you using a Batarang and then just shocking the shit out of somebody and stunning them. I thought that was so fucking cool.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They've had the heated Batarangs. They've had so
in the
many.
video games. You have the remote control Batarang. There's so much versatility. Like I said, this might be cheating a little bit on our end because it's not just one thing. The Batarang is so iconic and so versatile, and there's so many different versions of it that
it came out of a necessity. Like, they weren't allowed to put Batman using the guns.
Nope.
So what were they going to do?
Yeah, and you mentioned the electric Batarang, the shocking one. They brought that back for the Arkham series, the video games, because you had the Sonic Shock one, you had the Sonic Batarang. So there's so many, and it's honestly probably the most iconic, which is why it's number 1 for both of us.
I'd say probably the worst might be Batman Forever. I think that one had the nipples on it. That Batarang had nipples on it too.
Yeah, that Batarang was a little weird looking. I'll give you that. That one, it was all weirdly curved and smooth, and it didn't have nipples
Batman
on it.
Sexual, I don't know.
It was that one was a little weird.
It's the most iconic, man.
It's been around forever, pretty much, since his early days. And any Batman media that you find nowadays, he will find a reason to use the Batarang at least once, no matter what it is. I'll tell you what,
my son, he was making his own stuff, and so the first thing he makes is a Batarang, like just instinctually.
Instinctually makes a Batarang. Yep.
And then for the bad guy, he makes, I think I forget what it was from, but it was Riddler, and it was a laughing gas or something.
It's iconic. It's iconic.
But that's the first thing he goes to. That's the first thing everybody goes to.
Is the Batarang.
Your first thing wasn't a cardboard grappling gun, as cool as it was. Your first thing you made was a cardboard Batarang.
If you were pretending to be Batman, you make a Batarang. 100%. Hands down, every time. Yeah, I like that.
A few of the ones that I like, you got the spike balls and the smoke balls. You've got spikes out of the gloves, gauntlets, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
You've got so much stuff around the belt.
Oh man, he carried so much stuff in the belt It was kind of ridiculous, to be honest.
The belt as a whole can be considered a gadget.
Yeah, depending on which version of the belt, sure. Sometimes it was just a belt to hold things. Other times it had full functionality and could do various things. But man, he carried so many things in his belts, tear gas and a mini flamethrower at one point. He had line launchers, he had lights, he had the bat heaters so he could heat things up or melt ice, because you never know when you get locked out of the Batmobile.
Right, and eventually he had control over the Batmobile with a gadget.
Remote control. Cryo capsules, like I said.
I think he had a lightsaber at one point.
He did. It came out of the belt. That was Batman Brave and the Bold, if I'm not mistaken.
That was a good series. That's such underrated.
It really was. I think the art style,
fantastic.
I think the art style really kind of threw people off with that, because it was much more cartoony. But man, it was much more in depth and intense than you would have imagined.
It was good. It was good, and the end of that was so hilariously done. Like, my caps off to them. But enough about that. That's
Guys,
our top 5.
That's our top 5.
Those are our favorites.
If you have a top 5, if you have some gadgets that you love that we didn't talk about and you want us to touch on them, or if you just want to have a conversation, reach out to us. You can reach out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all at 2DAP2020. Comment on our YouTube videos, and you can find those at, you guessed it, 2DAP2020. And you can also email us. Where can they email us at, Felix?
So my email is 2dap2020@gmail.com. His email, however, is 2dap2020@gmail.com. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe button. I think I'm required by law to say that on every YouTube video.
Like,
is that a
comment,
law?
and subscribe. Yep. I
Is
think
that a law? Because I see it on every single one.
I don't think it's a law, but I think
Okay.
it's just about. I mean, it's a social law. That's what that is. It's a social law. But guys,
Next time on Two Dads and a Podcast.
So next time we have a really fun one. So we decided, we love anime. We love watching the series, but they all have so many movies. So we're going to pick our top 5.
You're going to have to stop using this as a joke.
5.
You're going to have to stop teasing people.
Feature.
One day we're
films.
just not going to mention it, and then the next week it's going to happen.
I'll give you a clue. Mine is Tree of Might.
Tree of Might's a good one.
Z.
I do really like that one, believe it or not.
I know.
I've seen, out of all the movies for animated series, I've seen every single Dragon Ball Z one, and about maybe 5 others between Naruto.
I've seen most of the
Fullmetal
Naruto's.
Alchemist.
I've seen most of the new Inuyashas. I've seen the Tenchi Muyo.
If I've watched any of them, it's been ages.
Digimon.
Okay. I've seen a couple Digimon. And
A few of the
Pokemon.
Bleach ones.
His Pokemon is an anime, so I've seen every Pokemon movie as well.
I've started at least all of them. I have not. I've finished maybe half of them. Some of them get really boring. I'm sorry.
100%. But guys, as always, thank you so much for listening.
We'll see you next time. And we love you guys, each and every one of you. All you special little individuals out there.